Hey folks, it is Monday morning and Jer here with the news, and there is a little bit floating around, so we'll start to get through it. There's going to be some information on the fallout from the transfer window that just closed, some lineups for the January window that have already started to happen, some detail on Elland Road Stadium improvements that have come through, as well as a little bit of personal opinion on the weekend's game. I won't get into it for too long, and then we're going to talk about the Leeds Ladies result and the loan watch players that are out on loan from the Leeds first team squad at the moment. So an update on them. So we'll crack on with the fallout from the transfer window. And according to Swansea, Leeds did approach Swansea in the late minutes of the deadline to try and prize Joel Piroe away from the club. The 22-year-old did manage to stay at Swansea at the end, which they're celebrating as a big coup to keep him. But Leeds did have a look. £9 million was the fee reported to be floating around. At the time, there were some reports that said there was no truth in this, but the chief executive himself has come out to say that two Premier League clubs approached very late in the window, and Leeds were strongly rumoured to be one of those two clubs. On other players that didn't come in, that may be coming in, Fabrizio Romano this morning stated that Leeds will go back in for Cody Gakpo in January. He is their number one target. They are obsessed, in inverted commas, with the player and really want him. He also did state that there will be competition for the player, which should go without saying. He's a fantastic player. If he has a half-decent World Cup, he is going to be worth significantly more and have a lot more suitors. If he doesn't have a great World Cup, that could be good news for Leeds, but then that might question the player's ability. So we'll wait and see. But Leeds are very interested in going back in for Cody Gakpo. It depends on the money situation, and given Jesse Marsh's comments at the weekend, which were very concerning and go against what the club said when asked about Dan James going out, he said that we needed to add something, which meant something needed to go, and that Dan James was the only player garnering the most interest. That's the only reason they sold him was because, or loaned him out, was because someone was interested in him, and nobody was interested in the rest of the squad. So that's a concern going into the next transfer window if Leeds want to bring in Cody Gakpo. But not only Cody Gakpo, according to Football Insider, Leeds are also considering going back in for Ben Brereton Diaz in January, having failed to get him again late in the window. It is that the Leeds do like the player, but they just don't like the transfer fee that is being associated with a player with less than a year remaining on his current contract. So it'll be interesting to see if Leeds go for either of these two players. I don't think there's any money. So I would be shocked if we're following the Leicester model, we have to sell somebody to bring somebody in, and that's not working particularly well for Leicester right now. But moving on away from that kind of stuff and moving on to stadium improvements and the long-awaited announcement of Leeds upgrading of Elland Road still hasn't come out, but some information has started to leak out. So according to the sports agency column of the Daily Mail today, Leeds are progressing in the plan to redevelop Elland Road, raising the capacity to 55,000 seats. Angus Kinnear and Peter Lowry are expected to be leading the program. Peter Lowry is a expert in this and former chief executive of the Westfield Group, and they are looking at moving this on. No date has yet been set for actually doing the work, but the planning is well on their way. It'd be interesting to see what to do. I hope they keep the atmosphere. I hope they keep it tight. Whatever they do, keep it tight. That would be nice. Moving on then. So some good news for the Leeds Ladies this weekend with a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough up in Tadcaster. Fantastic result for them. Another one for them to keep moving on. So well done to them. And in terms of loans today, so let's fly through the loan watch stuff, will we? Dan James came on for the last 30 minutes of his game against Fulham. Not enough to impact the game. Was involved a little bit, but expected to be a big player for Fulham. They reckon he's going to add an awful lot to their style of play. And if you're someone like Mitrovic, having a winger with pace who can square a ball is an exciting prospect for him. Not for us, sadly. Charlie Creswell, who has struggled at late at Millwall after having a very strong start there, made a couple of high-profile mistakes that led to goals against them. Came off the bench on the 48th minute yesterday due to an injury and not only scored but got an assist as well. Charlie Creswell is looking more and more like a player for scoring goals than maybe defending them. So well done, Charlie. Good weekend for you. Nice to see you back in the team. Also in that game, Jamie Shackleton played 90 minutes. Has primarily been playing in centre midfield for Millwall and played at right back in this game, played the full 90 minutes as well. So well done, Jamie. Another 90 minutes under your belt. Tyler Roberts, who has struggled with injuries at QPR. Again, a new club. Tyler Roberts starting off and he's struggling with injuries. He did come off the bench but wasn't really involved in the match that much. So, but back on the pitch, which is most important for Tyler. Lewis Bate, another player who struggled for minutes since moving to Oxford, started his first game in 3. Played 73 minutes, had a good game by all accounts. So well done to Lewis Bate. And the one that made me smile, Ian Poveda, played most of the game for Blackpool and was involved in their goal, given a 9 out of 10 rating as well, which is a fantastic start for his career at Blackpool. I really do hope he has a good season and comes back to us stronger, because I think there's a really good player in there. I'd love to have him back at Leeds when he's ready. I suppose. Moving on to the game of the weekend, and I suppose what I want to see, the interesting thing is, will Jesse Marsch get an automatic one-game touchline ban, or will Leeds get the same privilege that Chelsea got of allowing a letter to be posted out to him explaining his decision, and then an appeal to go in, which would keep him on the bench another week? I would get it out of the way and have him on the bench for the United game rather than have him on the bench for the Forest game. If you're going to get it out of the way, get it out of the way for that one. And it's a weird game, because after losing 5-2, I thought I'd be more annoyed, and I wasn't. I thought we played really well. It's a really weird team to watch right now, where it's like two separate teams, the attacking team and the defensive team. The attacking team is really, really good and really, really entertaining football and creating chances and scoring 2 goals, which should be enough to win any game. And then the defensive team has got Diego Llorente in it, who just cannot stop making mistakes. I said on the news on Saturday, which you can go back and watch if you want to, if he gets exposed one-on-one, we could be in trouble. And he was, unfortunately. Runs across Robin Koch. Again, rash, gets in the way of a ball where he shouldn't. Ball runs through, tap in. Doesn't judge the run of a player from the flick on. Gets caught and then falls over the ball. And he did it against Chelsea as well and got away, but he fell over the ball. So he's just, right now, he's a bit of a liability for us. And personally, I would like to see him come out of the team. Had we gone and bought a left back, we could have put Stroke in there, who's been great. But hopefully Liam Cooper comes back in for the Forest game, because it's every game with Llorente. It's every game. And it makes the whole backline look nervous. On the positive side of things, it was great to see Luke Ayling back on the park and getting an assist pretty much straight away. I think he's going to do really well under Marsh's system. I really, really, really do. Sinistera looks just excellent. The guy can't stop scoring goals. And Mark Roca getting his first goal, I was delighted to see. Not so happy about VAR. I think we got robbed at the weekend with that. I don't think we lost the game because of that, but it definitely was a factor in it. And Crescencio Somerville looked okay. He actually looked pretty decent when he came on. Was a lot more aggressive than he has been, which was good to see. So it was a funny one, because I'd normally be annoyed at a 5-2 defeat, but I really wasn't. I thought there was huge amounts of positives that came from the game. I thought we played really good football, and even Thomas Frank says it himself, Leeds are a really good team, but we need to sort out our defence. That for me is Llorente. Take him out. The other question was as well, is there's always a question mark over Ilian Melia and his ability to set up a wall for free kicks. And if you watch the free kick, it's a great free kick and it's top corner and he's not saving it. But as it's taken, he steps behind his wall to go wall side instead of the side he should be covering. And they had set the wall to jump and have a man lying underneath it, so he didn't need to do that. And then he gets caught in top corner of his own side. And that's not the first time Melia has made mistakes with free kicks like that, where he needs to get his wall position better for me. I still don't think he saves it. It's right in the postage stamp top corner, so I think it goes anyway. But he could have made life a little bit easier for himself by, covering his side of the goal. But again, if you go through the goals, the individual errors, the penalty probably wasn't a penalty. If it is, it's a very soft penalty. He gets his leg around the ball. Very soft. And the big part for me with that is it took VAR so long to make that decision. Then how is it a clear and obvious mistake? And if it isn't a clear and obvious mistake, then VAR shouldn't be checking it. So a lot of problems with VAR this weekend. I wish did get rid of it. I really wish they wouldn't go back to what it was like. Even with the mistakes they had before VAR, they weren't as infuriating as this. I don't know how two people can look at a screen and get something so wrong, and then not look at a screen when you can see something so glaringly obvious as Somerville's penalty claim. So disappointing again, but again, we don't get to rub the green with VAR all the time. So we'll have to crack on, I suppose. Got Nottingham Forest next to Manchester United. We need to get a result against Forest. We can't come out of this month with no points from this month. So something against Forest and maybe against the bigger teams or who we suit. Bigger teams will come at us. They won't sit back and do low blocks. Maybe that's who suits us. So maybe we'll get more results off bigger teams than we will off teams lower down the table. But we're struggling against that low block. And that's it, folks. Thanks for popping around for the news. Some more updates tomorrow. We'll see how we go with this format currently. We'll try and get some news every day if we can. If you like the channel, if you want to see it presented in your YouTube feed, liking, subscribing does all of that. It presents the video to you in case you miss it yourself. If you like the content, it would be appreciated as well. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.